So we got some pretty interesting news for you guys, including the release of Shadowlands PrePatch today. Blue Protocol will receive another closed beta test, and the Outer Worlds sequel is allegedly in the works. Hello everyone, my name is Solomon SK for Coffee and RPGs, where we cover the latest news trends and updates for the MMO and RPG gaming genre. Really quick, I just wanted to let you know that I did create a new YouTube channel, and there are some slight changes that I'll be making to this one as well. I'll be talking about those at the end of this video if you're curious, but we do have a lot of news articles to cover, so if you guys got your cup ready with your beverage of choice, let's go over these articles together. Cheers to you guys.
Consider hitting the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell notification right next to it. Thank you!
So let's go ahead and get started with a few articles from MMORPG.com, and the first one here says that join Crowfall's Battle Test, get rewarded. So basically they are running a stress test from October 12th through the 18th, and if you invest at least 6 hours during the stress test, they will reward you with Heroes Tankard? I don't know how to pronounce this, but anyways, it's a cup basically, and if you equip it, you get an additional plus 2% damage bonus. So unfortunately, Neverwinter is one of those MMORPGs that don't get talked about enough in my opinion, but in their next article it does say that Neverwinter Milestone 3 of the redeemed Citadel is now available. And in this new update, it brings a new campaign, new leaderboard goals, new rewards to earn, as well as new heroics to encounter. And in terms of the campaign, it says that it pushes the story of players aiding Zarel further along. And to those of you who have been on the fence about playing ESO, you can finally do so this week. And it says in this article, you could check out Skyrim in ESO's free trial, which is live now. And what's really cool is that this is actually a ESO Plus free trial, which means that you get access to all of their DLCs, including Harrowstorm and Stonethorn. And it goes on to read that you'll also gain access to bottomless crafting bag for your materials, double bank space for all your characters, as well as a 10% boost of XP and gold to top things off. Just a reminder, it will run between now and October 19th at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And as I said before, Shadowlands PrePatch hits today, but also expect long maintenance times as well, unfortunately. It does say here that the maintenance should last up until 3 p.m. Pacific time, but by the time this video drops, I'm pretty sure the maintenance will be done and over with. And as a quick reminder, they did say that they will not be reducing the level cap for the free version of the game. If you didn't know already by now, you could actually hop into World of Warcraft right now with a free trial character, and you're capped at level 20. But you'll get to experience a whole lot more content since the level cap is being squished to level 50 from its 120, I believe, therefore giving you a lot more content to experience rather than being stuck at the very low B areas. And lastly, from MMORPG.com, it says Blue Protocol developer Livestream provides plenty of info, Japanese closed beta imminent. And if you're curious, their next closed beta will be on November 7th, but unfortunately, you'll have to be somebody from Japan in order to partake in this. But I know there are a number of you out there that find ways to get around this, and I think it's pretty cool that you'll able to partake in this closed beta event. I'm definitely wanting so, but truth be told, I'd rather play with the English client than anything else. But they also list here some of the differences between this closed beta event from the last one. For example, you could actually change your class by talking to the class master, so I'm assuming they're going to do something very similar to Final Fantasy XIV. They've also introduced glory coins, and it's my assumption that these are the currencies that you have to use in order to obtain in-game cash shop items. And if you're lucky enough to partake in this beta test, they seem to be lifting the NDAs. As it says here, streaming, recording video, and taking screenshots will be allowed during the test. So that's some awesome content right there that I unfortunately won't be able to provide. But if you're somebody who is able to get in, let me know down in the comment section below. I'd love to check out your content as well. And moving on to GamesRadar.com, it says here in their first article, a new Outer Worlds game is reportedly in pre-production. Again, take this with a grain of salt because this is reportedly, so there could be rumors and whatnot and miscommunications. And it all stems from this tweet here, as you can see. And the article does go on to say that a senior video games industry analyst by the name of Daniel Ahmad claimed that he last heard a new entry in the franchise being explored. Ahmad didn't elaborate on whether this new entry in the franchise would be a direct sequel to the first game or something more of a spin-off. For example, such of the likes of New Vegas, that wasn't directly a sequel, more as a spin-off from the Fallout 3 game. I mean, this is Obsidian that we are talking about. But in any event, I can't wait to get my hands on a copy of the original New Worlds game when it finally launches on Steam on October 23rd. And in their next article, it says that Star Citizen single player mode, quote, will be done when it's done, end quote. Chris Roberts has gone on to say that I am not willing to compromise making a game I believe in with all my heart and soul. So Cloud Imperium actually celebrated their 8th anniversary last week, and I hope this isn't another 8 years, to be honest with you. But at the end of the day, yes, I would rather have a much polished, bug-free or less of a bug-free game than rushing it out as so many other companies do out there. But he does go on to say that it is a long ways to go before this game actually finishes. So again, how long? As he said, it will be done when it's done. Actually, the people over at Blizzard used to say that a lot too, and you know, a lot of people like that. But anyways, moving on. So let's go ahead and cover some of the articles from Genmatsu.com. And the first one here says that Borderlands 3 Next Gen upgrade launches day and day with PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. But if we take a look at this little infographic here, it does say that the game for the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series S will be on November 10th, and it will launch for the PlayStation 5 on November 12th, but for only selected regions, which includes the United States, Canada, Mexico, Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and South Korea. Everybody else, including France and the UK, will be getting it on November 19th. And just a reminder, you actually get a free copy of this game if you already own one for the previous generation, so that's awesome news for the fact that you don't have to fork over more money. And lastly, of course, this is next gen that we are talking about, and it does go on to say that Borderlands 3 will run at 60 frames per second and in 4K resolution during single player and co-op online modes. And to those of you who love the King Arthur lore or just like turn-based strategy RPGs in general, we got another game here for you guys, and it goes on to say that turn-based tactical RPG King Arthur Knight's Tale announced for the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and the PC. And this turn-based tactical RPG is planned for release on PC via Steam in the first quarter of 2021, followed by the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series at a later date, and will be priced at $40. As always, I have the trailer playing right now, and admittedly, it's not necessarily my cup of tea or just cup of coffee. But it's definitely a game that I could see myself playing if it weren't for other games that I'm playing right now that takes so much of my time already. And really quick, just for FYI purposes more than anything else, in their next article, it does say that Square Enix trademarks Forspoken, A Hero's Bond in Japan, as well as Type Mood trademarking the title Melty Blood. Again, these are just trademarks. They don't really tell us anything. They could be RPGs, they could be shooters, who really knows, but definitely be on a lookout for some things to come from these companies. Next, let's go ahead and talk about some of the articles from altchar.com. And the first one here talks about how miHoYo Games is not going to be releasing this game for the Xbox, unfortunately. And it says here that Genshin Impact has captured the hearts of so many players around the world, but it looks like those on the Xbox platform will be left deprived of that love. But don't worry everyone, because there is a remedy for this, and take it away, dudes at Blizzard.
Do you guys not have phones?
Yeah, you guys all have phones, right?
That was obviously a joke, but for what it's worth, if you do play it for the PlayStation 4, you unfortunately cannot carry over your progress or your saved file to other platforms such as the mobile and the PC. So yeah, I guess take that for what it's worth.
Halo Uncharted backwards compatibility, superior Japanese engineering. Ha 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 ha! Dirty console gaming peasants. Just ignore him and he'll go away.
And in their next article, it says that Bless Unleashed PC beta launches date revealed, and that fans will be able to experience the game through a closed beta test, which starts on November 4th, 2020, and will run for a total of 5 days. And this game brings a lot of salt, so let's just go ahead and move on. And for those of you who really enjoy games involving pixel art, we got a game for you. And this next article comes from PCGamer.com, and it says that Magic School RPG Ikenfell is out now, but I do apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. And as always, I do have the trailer playing right now, and admittedly, it's a very charming little RPG, it seems like. And the article does go on to say that Ikenfell raised $61,787 on Kickstarter back in 2016, based on the promise of a JRPG with a mix of turn-based and timing-based battle mechanics, with a heavy focus on character and story. After a significant delay, it's finally been released this month. And wrapping it up, we got two articles from MassivelyOP.com, and the first article here says that V4 introduces a Capture the Flag style PvP mode, merges 3 regions, and adds a new area. And if you're curious, the new Capture the Flag PvP mode is called Halidom Rush mode, which is exactly how it sounds. You have to collect the Halidom and bring it to a specific location on the map. And it does go on to read that for everybody else, the Maddening Forest, Cursed Plains, and Anguished Forest regions have all been merged into one region, while the new Arrogant Plain region has been added. And really quick, if you don't know anything about this game, this kind of plays very similarly to Genshin Impact in the sense that it's also a cross-platform RPG. But this one is actually more of an MMORPG rather than a single-player story-driven RPG like Genshin Impact. And lastly, it says here in this article that Perfect World Entertainment and Echtra Games Torchlight 3 has officially launched. I must admit, I was kind of interested in playing this game, but midway through development, they said that this was no longer going to be an MMORPG, and I must admit, I didn't really feel the need to play it that much anymore. But they did some pretty awesome things, including removing its cash shop, and it's going buy to play. Now, why is that a big deal? Well, Perfect World Entertainment is kind of known for its sort of cash shop items and how they could be very pay to win, I guess you could put it lightly. So maybe they're trying to do something a little different, and I don't know. But at the end of the day, the changes is what it is, and so you can still play with friends. It does have co-op functionality, so it's not a complete single player game. And that concludes today's episode of MMO and RPG Updates. I really do appreciate it if you made it with me so far, and I really hope that I've earned your subscription in today's video. If so, please consider hitting the subscribe button down below, as well as the bell notification icon right next to it, as that tremendously helps out the channel. And as for the updates that I mentioned earlier, yes, I did create a new YouTube channel, but it's sort of a quasi-ASMR channel, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. If you're like me, you've actually played games for a very long time, and there are some instances while you're playing and you felt a certain way as if you were part of that world. And long story short, that's what I wanted to capture within the channel that I created. There are parts of a game, MMO or otherwise, where sometimes I get a sense of calmness as if I was there in the forests or in the mountains where it's really snowy. And in my opinion, that definitely has to go credit towards the level designers and the special effects sound designers and stuff like that. But I know there has been a huge, I guess, trend of meditation music and calming noises and various ASMR sort of environmental rain sounds, stuff like that going out there. And I thought, hey, why not kill 2 or 3 birds with one stone and just try to combine all of those into a single channel. So I'll have a link to that down in the description below, as well as the end video cap thingies. I don't know what they're called. Some YouTuber I forgot. So yeah, either way, I'll have links to that, and if you go subscribe to that channel, I definitely do appreciate that as well, considering I'm still trying to, I guess, find my voice in this whole YouTube universe. And as for the changes for this channel that I mentioned really quick, essentially I'm just gonna get rid of the memes. Even though I only produce videos that are about 10 to 13, 14 minutes long, trying to add those memes and make it funny, but also make it in a way such that it doesn't feel out of place, it's very, very difficult. Those memes only take like, what, 5 seconds, 10 seconds at the most, but it just takes so much creative energy out of me that it actually slaps on an additional 1 hour to 2 hours of editing in order to finish a video by putting those little tiny 5 to 10 second clips, as hard as that seems to imagine. So again, I'm not the greatest editor, but considering it's just taking so much energy and time out of me, I'm just gonna probably place 1 or 2 in the beginning and just go ahead and edit the rest of the video as always that I did before. So if you guys came here for the memes, I do apologize, but at the end of the day, I don't want to be burnt out, and I just want to continue making these videos for you guys, excuse me. So yeah, that's just what really I wanted to mention. So anyways, everyone, I know that was a lot of information, so I do appreciate you guys sticking around and just letting me ramble for a bit, but I'll finally let you guys go, and as always, hope you guys have a blessed night. Cheers again, everyone.